When we talked about Hickory Dickory Dock, we used an object lesson with oil and water. We took from Ecclesiastes where it talks about how there's a time and a place for everything. And understanding that's kind of hard, but if you look at this oil and water, the water right now is dyed blue and the oil is sitting on top. Oil is lighter than water, so it sits on top naturally. And the dye does not mix with the oil. But this happens in time. It's not in this perfect state at the start. Just like we are not in a perfect state at our start. We talked about how as kids, nobody in our group was driving a car or getting married or anything like that because of their age. They weren't old enough or they hadn't settled enough to be that person yet. We talked about how David was promised to be king, how his life as a young boy he was anointed and told he was going to be king. And Saul was jealous of him. And Saul chased him. But David, no matter the opportunities that came up, David wouldn't kill Saul. He was given many chances, and somebody could say that God gave David those chances. And that those were the times that David should have taken control and killed Saul and became king because that's what God wanted. But David knew, even when one of his friends that went with him and snuck into a camp of 3,000 of Saul's men and got where Saul was sleeping, and they took Saul's spear, and the man was ready to put the spear through Saul's head, David told him no. David understood that there's a time and place for everything, and that we can't just take what we want because we want it. That we need to wait for God's timing, because it may look like this bottle is separated to us, but we all actually have seen what it looks like in its true separated form, and it doesn't look like this. But sometimes it'll sit like this for a long time before it finally is to the point where it's ready, where it's separated, where it's right. And we need to realize that sometimes it does take longer for something to settle, for us to be in the right position at the right time. I'm sure you could imagine if we had different things mixed in with this, different viscosity of liquids, that it would be a much more complicated mixture. And that's how we are. We are even more complicated than this, way more complicated. So we need to trust in God and not ourselves to know when the right time is. Trust in Him, know when He's speaking to you, and do things in His time and not our own. Have a great day.